Okay, step one, to install this clutch, you'll need to lay your bike on its side, completely on its side, so you don't have to drain transmission fluid. Mine's new, so I don't want to drain it. Also, it's easier if you lay your bike over on its side. When it comes time to install the balls, they have to be laying flat on a flat surface for you to install them to stay on the plate. First step is lay the bike on the side, take this plate off, take these bolts out, hold your lever down with the screwdriver, just press down on your brake to give you some slack to push your brake pedal down. Push it down, put the screwdriver in, and go on to the next step. So I'm going to take them bolts out right now. Okay, now I got all the screws out. Just remove the cover, and I noticed that the seal didn't stay in there. I'll take that off. And that's the inside of your clutch. So, next step will be to take out those bolts, and I'll get back to you when I get that step done. Okay, what I have done so far is I've taken and put the hub in, then I took and put the lock washer down, and there's a washer between this nut and this lock washer. Put that in. Then I installed the friction disc and the clutch plates, starting with steel, ending with the friction, and bent the tabs up for the lock washer, torqued that down, and next would be the center of the hub, which makes the drive. Place that in with the little notches, make sure they're lined up right here. Yeah, that's about it so far, and then I'll look for the next steps. Okay, next step would be, after installing the center, making sure it's in the grooves, install this spring, make sure it's with the notch piece going this way, exactly like this. Now I'm going to install that. Something else I might want to add here, I noticed all the friction plates had these little notches. Line them all up together too. See how they're all lined up? Make sure they're all the same. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what we should do. And install the spring. Make sure it went freely. That's in there now. Next step. Okay, next step would be to take your thrush washer, or your thrush throw bearing, and throw that in the center. And in the package there's going to be a washer. Put that on top of that. And then this is for to hold your spring in place. This goes on top of that. Okay, this is the medium. Then you take your medium spring and you set that on top of that. Like so. And next would become your plate with your balls, I do believe. That's the next step. Just set that on there, like that. Put oil in where your bearings, your balls go to. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, I now have the balls in there, which we called for all the 27. Make sure you put oil in there and put them all in. The next thing to do is to line this plate up the same way you did with your clutch plates, and put your top plate would be this on top. and we'll do that next. Okay, so you put that plate on, put 3 bolts in, and now you have to check the with your feeler gauge the gap, and you just slide them in between your friction, if I can find my finger here, between the friction and the top plate, your first friction plate and your top plate of where the balls go in. Okay, and your gap should be, you should just have a little resistance on your wrench. Now Johnny can hold the camera here. Let's see if we show you doing that. Okay. So one goes in between, which would be there, and go from right across from each other. Right one. Whoops, I pulled that out. So you might have to move the plate a little bit to get it to go in. I can't get it in. There. And it's perfect. So you just want a little bit of, like, it's going to be hard to get it in because of course they're pressed together. But once you get them in there, you should be able, just like a feeler gauge on doing your valves, it should be just a little bit of resistance. Okay, so they're good. Alright, it's back together. Torque the bolts. Make sure you use your thicker gasket that they give you. There's the gasket. Keep the O-ring that's in the clutch cover, keep it on. They didn't say take it out or nothing, so keep it in there. And next thing to do is just to adjust your clutch lever, your free play, and you should be all set. So we're going to do that now.